Hello, 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 and welcome. If you feel like you've done a lot of clearing around money and you just can't seem to get to the next level, you don't want to hustle, you're tired of hustling, proving yourself, doing things the way the old paradigm taught you to do it, but you still can't seem to get to the next level. I'm going to be sharing two videos. This is part one of two videos that I'm going to be doing, talking about two things about money that we're not taught. So these two videos aren't going to be about blocks that you may or may not have. I really don't even love using that word blocks, but this is more about learning about money. There's a couple things about money that we're not taught. And once you see this, these could be the pieces that you're missing to help you get to the next level. Before I dive into today's video, I want to share that I actually just released a new free resource. I did a 3-day wealth awakening challenge last year, and right now I'm giving away the first session of that challenge away for free. Right now, the link is down below. This goes deep into your relationship with money, clearing some things about money, but also creating a new relationship with money. This is like an experiential session. This is not like me teaching you so much as there's an activation, there's a clearing, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff in it. So I'm gonna put the link down below here, so make sure you grab that. Okay, back to today's video. Okay, this is so much fun. So there are a couple things about money that I have seen consistently with one-on-one clients that stops them from making the shift from the old paradigm to the new paradigm, as well as something that I've been through as well. So this is very, very common. I actually believe that this is just part of the journey. So that's why I don't want to call it a block or something that's in your way. To me, this is just us having new awarenesses around money. And this is what I really want to shine a light on because you may not see it. I didn't see it until probably the last three years or so. And I really, really saw this. And now I can't unsee it. So I really want to share this with you today. But there is two videos here. So make sure you catch part two. I wanna keep them separate because they're both really important, and I wanna give them enough space and share enough and not mix them together to give you time to really process it, and I'd love to hear your comments down below. As always, I always do, and please share, like, and subscribe if you found this helpful. Okay, so anytime we wanna up level in life, okay, so go to the next level, I don't mean just kind of progress along this nice little path, but you're making a significant change in your life. Meaning like a new job, a new home, a new something where it's a big shift for you, okay? Anytime we do that, we've accepted that there's a certain process that we go through, okay? Now, moving from the old paradigm to the new paradigm is a big leap. It's a big shift. So I'm likening the two processes together. Like it's a big up level, going from old paradigm of hustling, proving, sacrificing yourself, self-abandoning, all those things to the new paradigm where it's more flow, where it's more creation, where it's more abundance, where it's just a healthier way of living. That's a big up level, right? So we've been taught how to up level. Now, I'm going to give you a real easy 3D example that you've likely experienced before, or certainly can relate to it. So imagine that you want a new job. Okay, so that's a big up level. Say you want a increase in your pay. There's a reason why you want to change jobs. You want to up level your career in some way. You know the process. What's it going to look like? It's going to look like you looking for a job. If it's not in the company, there's nothing in your company, you're going to look outside the company, right? And again, there may be reasons why you want it. Increase in pay, maybe location, maybe hours, maybe just something that's less stressful. There's something that you are wanting to gain. Okay. You wouldn't be doing this unless there was something for you to gain, right? So what do is you look for a new job while you have your old job. That's what we're taught to do, right? That's the smart thing to do. And it makes sense, right? Now, when you go to that new job, when you accept that new job, first of all, you let go of the old job. But there are things that you temporarily lose. So you lose maybe the trust of all your colleagues. You go to a new company, they don't know you, but you accept that when you go to a new company, you're going to have to rebuild some trust. Okay. When you go to a new company, you accept that you're going to have to learn their systems, whether it's like their policies and procedures, how things work. their computer systems. You're going to have to learn like the departments, the people, how information flows. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you're going to have to like relearn because you knew it in the old company, right? You knew it in the old company and you accepted that. Okay, I'm in a new company here. I'm up leveling. I'm going to have to relearn all these things. I'm going to have to, for a while, I'm going to be out of my comfort zone. For a while, but all these things are going to happen. There's like these almost like temporary setbacks. They could feel like temporary things you have to relearn again. You've learned them all before. You've got the experience in the old company. You've got the trust. You've got the relationship. You've got everything over there. But you accept that if you want to get to the next level, there are some things you're going to have to do over again. There are some things that it's going to feel like maybe you're starting over in some ways. There are just some things that you kind of like you lose. Maybe it was just like relationships, friendships. You accept that. You know that's going to happen. It's just a given. You don't question it. You don't sit around going, "Oh my gosh, like I can't believe I have to learn a new computer system. Why couldn't they just use the same one?" Like, you know what I mean? Like it would be crazy. We can see it's ridiculous, right? We just accept that it's going to feel in some areas that we're going backwards. It's temporary. And we accept that it's temporary. And we also know on some level that we have all the experience over here. So it's probably going to take less time over here, right? We've gained all this experience and knowledge and everything else. It's probably going to take less time. So we're just like, okay, this is what we do. This is just how it goes, right? Same with, say, a relationship. Say you're in a long-term relationship and you decide that, I'm not happy with this person. I want something different in a relationship. You've changed as a person. You're like, I want something different. You know the process. You're going to have to break up with them and, do some healing, probably do a little bit of self-reflection, those kinds of things. And you're going to go out into the world and you're going to meet somebody or potentially a bunch of people, try a bunch of different dates. You're not going to have the same level of intimacy. You're not going to have the same level of trust. You're not going to have the same level of whatever. You accept that if you want a different level, like to really quantum leap and to have a whole new experience, that you are temporarily going to have to lose something, like feel like you're moving back and actually kind of move back a bit because there's a gain, there's something that you're moving towards, there's a level that's higher. So you just accept that this is just the process. This is just what I go through when I up level. Yet, for some reason with money, we don't do this. If you look at every area of your life, there is this acceptance that you will either feel like you're losing traction or you will lose traction or you'll go backwards or you feel like you're going backwards. You're not really. But with money, we don't think that should happen. For some reason, we've been taught that if you at all go backwards for a moment, like that's it. You've made a mistake. It's all going downhill from here. You're never going to recover. You're never going to make your way back. Oh my God, all these stories. Now, to go from the old paradigm to the new paradigm, that's a big flippin' leap. Okay. I don't think I think all of us didn't really realize the entirety of what it meant. I know I didn't. I don't actually think we're supposed to know the entirety of it, to be honest with you. But it's a big leap. You're going from living a life where you sacrificed, you hustled, you gave up who you are, you fit in, you did all the things, you followed all the rules, to moving to something where you are in flow, you are in creation, you are allowing, you are aligning with opportunities, you're reclaiming your power, you're in your sovereignty, you're feeling, you're feeling like the world is your oyster. Well, that's a big switch. Yet for some reason, we think with money, we should never feel unstable with money or that we should never actually go a little bit backwards financially on paper. On paper. For some reason, we don't think that. We've been conditioned to believe that, right? We've been taught we've been doing something wrong if you do that. And I'm here to tell you that's not how money works because it's not how any kind of up level works. To gain something, you may have to temporarily lose traction or actually lose or feel unstable or lose something in the meantime. And this is what most people will not tolerate. This is my experience. in all my coaching practice. And for some reason, I was able to do this. I don't know why and how. I guess I, got the download at some point that I had to do this. We don't get to up level. And I don't mean, I want to be really, really clear here. I'm talking about an up level. I'm talking about going from the old paradigm to the new paradigm. If you want to advance financially over and you want to play the long game and you just want to keep progressing over time, you may not need to do that. I'm not talking about that though. I'm not talking about just putting a little bit of money away each month. That's not what I'm talking about. That's a solid plan in itself. Okay, I'm not saying don't do that. I am talking to the person who's like, I want to feel abundant. I want to be abundant. I know there's more resources out there. I'm just not tapping into it yet. This is the person I'm talking to. There's a big difference. If you want to up level and move to the new paradigm, if you do, you have to release your grip on money. Because all that old money that you earned was the old paradigm. And you holding on to it, thinking that if you let any of it go, you're doing something wrong is simply incorrect. But the problem is when you hold on to money, it's fear, lack, and scarcity, right? That's what we do. It's fear, lack, and scarcity. And that prevents anything new from coming in. Like from an energetic level, I'm just talking energy here. Like, look at that. You hold on to something energetically. You're holding on so tight. Ideas don't come in. People don't come in. Resources don't come in. Nothing comes in. When you are holding on to something so tight, that's not the way energy works. So like I said, it's not like money necessarily has to leave. That's not a requirement. I don't want you to think that you have to be willing to, like, money's all going to go away. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're not willing to take a step backwards, to take a leap forward, it's going to take a long time. This is what I'm saying. So I want to be really clear. I am talking about big leaps, quantum leaps, new paradigm. This is not investment advice and this is not investment advice, period. Okay. I want to be also really clear on that. I'm talking about energetics here. I am talking about understanding the road, the path to go from the new paradigm, from the old paradigm to the new paradigm. This is what I'm talking about here. There isn't anybody I know, myself included, who when choosing to up level, again, a big up level, didn't either lose money, stall out making money for a while, like just barely hold ground, or, feel very uncertain and feel very like precarious. Like I'll share my own personal situation here just to give you an example. So I was in corporate for over 20 years as a CPA, earning six figures, right, in management, successful in that career. And a few years before I left corporate, I was working on my business, right? But it was challenging. It was challenging to build a business. I am a single parent. I have sole custody. At the time, I had a huge house and a huge yard, a dog, like you name it. My calendar was full. So it was really, really tough to build it. I didn't get as far as I would have liked to have because it's just, I didn't have the capacity, right? Just really wasn't able to. So I was really struggling in some ways, knowing how I was going to make the transition out of corporate to being like my own boss, right? And then COVID hit. And in 2021, the mandates came in here in Canada quite aggressively. And it came in with the company, get the vaccine or be fired. And I won't get into all the reasons why I didn't want to get it, but I didn't want it, right? And I worked from home, so it was just insanity to me to require that when I don't actually have contact with people from my office. But regardless, here I was, single parent, sole custody, mortgage, all the things. And I'm like, I'm just going to have to let myself be fired, right? I don't want it. For me, there was a bigger risk of giving away my bodily autonomy, my sovereignty, than money. By that point, I'd really taken money off its pedestal, right, in a big way. And so I allowed myself to be fired. So literally in a flash of a moment, I went from a six-figure income to zero income, no severance, like nothing, no income coming in. And, a lot of people went through that situation and made the choice of, getting the shot. And I don't want to get into all of this because we all have a different path that we're living on. But a lot of times we think we don't have a choice in life because we don't want to take a financial hit. We don't want to take that risk, thinking that we're not going to make it back. Like, again, there's this mindset that, like, if I do this, I'm not going to survive, or like, it's really weak. I mean, it goes really into survival, of course, right? But there's something else I did. So, again, I was fired immediately, no income. And I'm like, okay, I need to get moving quickly here. Like, that was my instinct. I'm like, I don't have time to go into anything. I can't sit around and like dwell on this. And honestly, I didn't even feel the need to dwell on it because I was like, okay, it's time to go. And I knew at the time it was a favor. I knew the universe was giving me an opportunity. And I hired a coach. It was almost $10,000. So I had lost my income completely. I've got a mortgage to pay. I've got all these things going on. And my instinct was invest in a coach with money, that I pulled it from savings, right? To pay for this because I knew I needed to make money fast, bigger money than I had been making so far. And that's what I did. And most people wouldn't do that. Most people would not have the risk tolerance around money to do that at all. Like there's no backup person for me. Like it's me, myself, and I. And the reason I was able to do this, I had been working on my money for a long time. I had been working on my self-trust. I had been reclaiming my power. And this is why I talk about reclaiming your power so much. The old paradigm didn't require you to trust yourself, really at all. The old paradigm relied on you trusting the system, relied on you trusting the rules. All you had to do was actually just trust them. It didn't require any self-trust. The new paradigm requires self-trust. Like I had to have a real deep sense of self-trust in myself to be able to do this. And I had it. I had it because I had been reclaiming my power. And again, this is why I will keep talking about this. Because you cannot move into the new paradigm without trust, without certainty within yourself, and you cannot have that certainty and trust within yourself without reclaiming your power. This is the progression. But that's a temporary setback. Let me tell you, that is a temporary setback. But if I looked at it as a permanent, I'm going backwards and I'm never going to be able to recover from this. Well, why would I ever do it? But I would still be in that job then, hating it, stressed out. I hated it, right? I wouldn't be anywhere I am right now if I hadn't made that choice. Now, I'm not here telling you what to do, okay? I think money is one of those areas that you have to feel certain within yourself. Because if you do something before you're ready, before you have reclaimed your power, you will spiral. Because like I said, there was a lot of people at the time who did not want, this is such a good example, but because I don't want to keep dwelling on it, but it is such a profound time because there were so many people who did not want to get the vaccine, but felt like they had no choice. And they felt like they had no choice because they hadn't reclaimed their power. It's that simple. They didn't have that self-trust that they would be able to pick it up, to take that temporary financial hit. Now, I know there was a number, and this is the great thing. There was a number of people in the company that I worked for. There's about 500 employees at the time. I don't know how many they have now, but there was a handful of us that um, allowed ourselves to be fired. And I've kept in contact with a couple of them, and their lives are so different. Like same with mine. Like they're night and day. Like their lives completely transformed. Like I have goosebumps right now. And again, I'm not here to tell you what to do to take risks that you're not ready for. But if you're sitting here going, why is my money not moving? Why am I not receiving abundance in? When you're still holding on to money and letting it dictate your life and thinking that if you go backwards a bit, that it's bad or you're doing something wrong, understand that when you up level, this is part of it. You will always lose a little something or feel like you're losing something or you'll lose traction. Things stall out. Think of a car. Think of a manual transmission on a car. I love driving manual transmission. I don't have a manual right now, but I love driving manual. Think of it. You start in first gear. right? You rev the engine as you get to a certain speed. What do? You put the clutch, you lose that power. You lose that traction, you lose the everything, right? You feel like you lost something, but you're not losing it. You're temporarily stopping the car. Well, you're not stopping it because there's momentum, but you're temporarily losing that power. Boom, so you can go into the next gear. And this is how up levels go. It's like we go so far and then we have to kind of like and then go again and then go again. This is how you go into the new paradigm. To think that you're just going to go in this nice little progression, maybe like an electric car, I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like it doesn't work that way. That's not how up levels work. We have to allow ourselves to either lose a bit of traction, feel like we're losing traction, or actually just like go backwards a bit. It's just important for you to reclaim your power within this whole process. So I hope this was super powerful here. Watch out for part number 2 that's going to be released really, really soon. Listen to that one as well. Share, like, and subscribe if this vibes with you. And also, please comment, share what lands for you. I love, 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 love to hear your comments. All right, beautiful soul. I will see you in part 2. Take care.